friends, welcome back to the Enchanted Stay, where fantasy storytelling and stray kids coexist peacefully. And by peacefully, I mean chaotically. We've talked about fantasy plot archetypes before, but today I want to do something a little bit different. I want to explain 5 classic fantasy plot archetypes and then prove that stray kids have already lived them emotionally, musically, and thematically. Because skits aren't just idols, they're a walking fantasy narrative. So grab your sword and your lightstick and let's go. Rags to Riches is the story of starting with nothing. No power, no recognition, and ending with purpose. And listen, Stray Kids is literally a rags to riches story. A self-produced group, built through survival, constantly underestimated. Songs like Elevator, District 9, and My Pace, are textbook rags to riches narratives. I started at the bottom, I was doubted, but I kept going anyway. In fantasy terms, this is the orphan with hidden magic, the nobody who becomes legendary. The power isn't given, it's claimed. Voyage and Return is about leaving the familiar world, entering chaos and coming back changed. This archetype lives in Skits' eras. Think pre-debut, then survival show, then debut, then reinvention, and then global stage. Songs like Miro, Side Effects, and Blueprint, feel like stepping into unknown territory, experimenting, questioning, risking everything. In fantasy, this is crossing the portal. In Skits terms, it's crossing into a new identity and never fully going back. Rebirth stories happen after collapse. And if you follow Stray Kids' discography, you know this archetype hits hard. Songs like Levanter, Scars, and I Am You are rebirth narratives. They say, I lost something, I broke, I rebuilt myself anyway. Fantasy rebirth isn't about erasing pain, it's about transforming because of it. That's Skits' emotional core. The training story is growth through effort, and Skits' entire identity is built on training. Not just skills, but self-belief. Songs like Victory Song, and Double Knot, are pure training arc energy. This is the fantasy montage: fail, train, fail again, stand back up, stronger. Power earned always hits harder, and Skits embody that. The underdog archetype is why people fall in love with stories, and it's why people fall in love with Stray Kids. They were never supposed to win. They weren't the obvious choice. they didn't fit the mold. Songs like Cheese and Thunderous scream, you didn't expect us, that's why we're here. In fantasy, the underdog wins through persistence. In Skids' story, they win through authenticity, how it all connects. The reason this works is because fantasy archetypes aren't about dragons or swords. They're about human emotion. Stray Kids don't just fit these archetypes, they activate them. That's why their music feels cinematic. Come to our cinema. That's why their story feels epic. So those are 5 fantasy plot archetypes and 5 reasons Stray Kids feel like a full fantasy saga in motion. Tell me, which archetype do you think defines Skids the most? And which one hits you personally? If you love books, magic, or Stray Kids, this is your world. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay chaotic, stay magical, stay.